Imagine depression as a storm. Modern psychiatry tells you to take shelter, medicate it, therapize it, wait it out. But Nietzsche would grab you by the shoulders, drag you into the thunder, and scream, "Dance in it." This isn't about toxic positivity. It's about transforming your suffering into strength, because Nietzsche didn't see depression as a disease to cure, but as a sacred fire that forges who you're meant to become. Let's descend into his radical wisdom. Nietzsche would rage against modern psychiatry's obsession with pathologizing depression. To him, your despair isn't a malfunction. It's your soul's brutal honesty, breaking through the lies you've been fed. The nihilism epidemic. When he declared God is dead, he wasn't celebrating. He was diagnosing. The collapse of old values left modern humans spiritually homeless, floating in a universe without inherited meaning. Your depression? That's the aftershock. Your psyche's raw reaction to realizing love might just be chemicals. Success might be a hamster wheel. Morality might be crowd psychology. This isn't sickness. This is seeing through the illusion. The gift of the abyss. While society medicates this discomfort away, Nietzsche whispers, "Look deeper." That void you feel, it's not absence, it's potential space. The numbness, your authentic self refusing to perform. The exhaustion, your soul's strike against meaningless labor. The despair, a brutal invitation to rebuild from truth. The initiation ritual. Ancient cultures had vision quests, ordeals designed to shatter adolescence illusions. Modernity gave us antidepressants. Nietzsche would say, we've medicalized a sacred process. Your depression might be dismantling the fake self that pleases others, incinerating borrowed dreams that weren't yours, preparing the ground for values worth bleeding for. The fork in the road. Here's where most fail. They either 1. Numb the pain and remain asleep. 2. Romanticize it and become professional victims, Nietzsche's way. 3. Weaponize it. Use this brutal clarity to detect all bullshit, especially your own. Burn away what was never truly you. Forge a self that can stare into the void and laugh. Not every crisis is an emergency. Some are beginnings in disguise. Your depression isn't your enemy. Your fear of what it's revealing is. Nietzsche would call our modern obsession with happiness the greatest spiritual swindle of our age. We've been sold a poisonous fantasy that life should be comfortable, that suffering is abnormal, and that joy can be bottled like perfume. The happiness. Industrial complex. Everywhere you turn, you're bombarded with the same lie. Advertising. Buy this and finally be happy. Self-help gurus. Follow these 5 steps to constant bliss. Social media. Look how happy everyone else is. Nietzsche saw through this centuries ago. Man does not strive for happiness, only the Englishman does that. His brutal insight, the pursuit of happiness makes you weak, the wisdom of winter. Consider nature. Trees need cold seasons to grow stronger. Muscles break down before they rebuild. Forests require fire to regenerate. Yet we treat our emotional winters like system errors. Nietzsche would say your depression is your psychological winter, not a mistake, but a necessary season of your soul's ecology. The paradox of pleasure. Modern psychology confirms what Nietzsche knew. People who avoid all suffering become fragile. The most protected generations are the most anxious. After basic needs are met, more comfort doesn't equal more happiness. Nietzsche's radical alternative? Stop chasing happiness. Chase meaning instead. The antidote to the lie. Ask yourself, 1. When have I grown the most, in comfort or in challenge? 2. Who do I admire more? Those who avoided pain or those who transformed it? 3. What if my depression isn't keeping me from happiness, but saving me from a fake version of it? This isn't about glorifying suffering. It's about recognizing Real joy isn't the absence of pain. It's the presence of purpose. Nietzsche's challenge still echoes. Do you want comfort or greatness? You cannot have both. The modern mental health industry operates on a dangerous assumption that depression is a glitch to be fixed, a deviation from some imagined normal state of functioning. Nietzsche would call this the great psychological con, because what if your depression isn't pulling you away from your true self, but actually clearing the path to it? The myth of return. Traditional therapy often promises to help you get back to yourself, but Nietzsche would ask, which self? The one that was performing for others, the one that believed society's lies, the one that hadn't yet seen through the illusion. Your depression may not be dragging you down, it might be burning away a false version of you that needed to die. The alchemy of suffering. Nietzsche's concept of self-overcoming demands we ask a revolutionary question. What if my pain isn't what's wrong with me, but what's right with me? Consider the exhaustion that forces you to finally set boundaries, the despair that makes superficial relationships intolerable, the numbness that protects you while you rebuild. These aren't symptoms, they're evolutionary adaptations of a psyche that refuses to keep living a lie. The Phoenix process. Real transformation follows an ancient pattern. 1. Dissolution, the old self breaks down. 2. Putrefaction, the messy, painful in-between. 3. Rebirth, the emergence of something new. Modern psychology gets stuck at stage 1, pathologizing the necessary death. Nietzsche grabs your hand and says, the fire isn't your enemy, it's your forge. Practical Nietzscheanism. How to shift from healing to becoming. 1. Ask better questions. Not, how do I fix this? But, what is this here to teach me? 2. Hunt for gold in the shadow. What suppressed qualities is your depression forcing to the surface? 3. Build from the wreckage. Your old life was a sandcastle. Now you get to work with stone. The most dangerous lie isn't, you're broken. It's, you should go back to who you were. Nietzsche's truth is more liberating. You're not falling apart. You're finally becoming real. Now, what will you build from the ashes? Nietzsche's Übermensch isn't some comic book superhero. It's your depressed self fully realized. This isn't about transcending humanity, but about becoming the most human version of yourself by staring into the abyss until it stares back and blinks first. The depression paradox. Your darkest moments contain the seeds of your greatest strength. That crushing emptiness, it erased the false comforts that were keeping you small. The unbearable sensitivity, it's your soul's radar for everything fake and trivial. The exhaustion, your psyche's strike against a life of meaningless labor. The Übermensch isn't born from happiness, it's forged in the sacred rage that comes when you realize, I've been living someone else's version of me. The 3 revolutions, one against pessimism. Not nothing matters, but nothing matters, so I get to decide what does. 2, against victimhood. Not why is this happening to me, but what is this preparing me for? 3, against false hope. Not I'll be happy when, but I'll create meaning now, in this. The alchemical process. 1. Take inventory. What beliefs about yourself has depression burned away? 2. Claim your power. What truths can you now see that happy people are still blind to? 3. Begin the rebellion. How can you live so authentically it makes the normal world uncomfortable? The ultimate test. Ask yourself Nietzsche's most dangerous question. If I had to relive this depression endlessly, what would I need to create from it to make that fate worth embracing? The answer isn't your cure, it's your destiny. The Übermensch isn't waiting for you in some distant future. It's hiding in your present pain, whispering, stop trying to escape. Start building your kingdom here. Now, what will your suffering empower you to create? Nietzsche's most radical prescription isn't just to endure suffering, but to kiss its hands, to embrace your depression as if you had chosen it. This is Amor fati, the love of fate. Not passive acceptance, but fiery allegiance to every scar that shaped you. The divine paradox. Your lowest moments contain a secret invitation. That breakdown, a forced excavation of everything false in your life, the loneliness, a merciless editor cutting away toxic relationships, the numbness, your soul's strike against performing for a world that doesn't deserve you. What if depression isn't happening to you but for you? The alchemy of affirmation. 1. Stop resisting. What if this pain is the exact curriculum your soul enrolled in? 2. Hunt the gifts. What superpowers has this forged in you that happy people lack? 3. Rewrite the narrative. Not I'm stuck in hell, but I'm being tempered in holy fire. The ultimate rebellion. When you can look at your darkest year and whisper, thank you, you've achieved what Nietzsche called the great health, one that does not merely have, but acquires sickness as needed. This isn't toxic positivity. This is philosophical warfare, transforming what should have destroyed you into what will define you. Your depression isn't your enemy. Your refusal to let it transform you is. Now, what will you love into being? Nietzsche wouldn't offer you comfort. He'd hand you a flamethrower. This isn't about overcoming depression. It's about incinerating the person it found you as and rising from the ashes with fiercer eyes. The modern world wants to medicate your despair into submission. Nietzsche demands you weaponize it into a new form of consciousness. You stand at the forge of self-creation. Every sleepless night was tempering your will. Every suicidal thought was burning away weakness. Every moment of despair was carving your true shape. The ultimate Nietzschean question isn't, when will this end? But, what immortal version of myself is this hell preparing me to become? Stop waiting for the storm to pass. Learn to command lightning. Now, what gods will your suffering birth? Seek wisdom.